Hello everyone, it's Cleo here, and today I'm going to be talking about the real meaning behind the zodiac sign of Leo, which of course is the lion. I did Cancer last time, and because I'm working my way all the way around the zodiac, I'm going in order, and of course it is Leo's turn straight after the crab. As I said in my video about Cancer, a lot of the time the problem is that people just don't understand what they don't understand about astrology. So the problem is, you will see sun sign columns in newspapers, and you will see memes on the internet, magazine things about it, and it doesn't make any sense. They could apply to anybody, they make them as vague as possible, so you believe in something, and then of course a lot of people can see right through that, and they say that this isn't real, anybody who believes in this is stupid. Now, that's not really fair or really true, because you haven't given the true art of it a chance. And that is exactly what I want to do today. I want to help everybody else give it a chance. Do I believe in astrology? Yes. Do I believe in the newspaper columns and memes online? No. There's a huge difference. People's one-dimensional understanding is based on that, and they think that's the whole thing, and it is for some people, that's the only thing they understand. But for a lot of us, including myself, we've studied this and understand that there are layers of depth and there's thousands of years of history to it. All of these are presented on your birth chart, and as you can see there's a ring around it. Those are all the signs of the zodiac. Yes, you have every sign in your chart, but you are going to be weighted towards one sign more than the other. For example, on my chart, I don't have any Leo placements, so I don't really resonate with that sign. The truth is, nobody can be just one sign. Anybody who studied this understands, of course, we have a list of planets included. Including the sun and moon, we call them planets. It simplifies the whole process. If you had the sun and the moon and the ascendant there, like this example chart I have, then you probably would feel very, very strongly Leo. But what Leo is not a person. Leo is an archetype. So although throughout this video, when I'm explaining that archetype, I'm going to be talking about it as if it is a person, one must understand that it is not a person. This is an archetype to help us understand part of somebody. Even if you do strongly relate to Leo, even if you were this made-up example chart, you wouldn't just be that, because that's not the only placements in the chart. There are aspects at play, there are different placements in the houses, there are other sign placements, so of course nobody can be just one thing. Please bear that in mind throughout this video. My goal here is not to oversimplify it, it's to simplify to a point of understanding, not to a point of misinformation. There is a huge difference with that kind of simplification. I just want everybody to really understand that you cannot be just one thing. You are represented by the chart in all of its uniqueness. You are a you, not a Leo. Just to be clear on that, even if you feel very strongly Leonine, you are not just that. Of course, having said that, the first thing I'm going to say about Leo is it is the fixed fire sign. And you're going to understand a little bit more about that throughout the video. I always say that Leo is the sign of the king, not because Leo is more important than the other signs, because it isn't, they're all the same level of importance, but because Leo likes to feel very special and be in the centre of attention in that way. Much like the image we have of a lion, Leo is very majestic and proud, very much like kind of a fairy tale king. At best, they really have a sense of their own dignity, but at worst, they can seem rather self-important, and maybe a little haughty and proud. Just as a king can only really be a king if he has subjects who treat him like a king, that is Leo's need for recognition. Leo always needs to be recognised as being someone important, being the centre of attention. Leo loves that. It doesn't matter what it is, but Leo will seek out that kind of recognition from people at large. The quest for Leo is really about self-discovery, finding out what makes you special, what makes you shine. They're very good at that. The positive side of Leo is finding what makes you special and shining in a beautiful way. The planets you have in Leo generally are where we want to be noticed by others, where we really want to be appreciated, where we want to shine, where we want to be quite public. People who are strongly Leonine really hate to be ignored, whereas some people like to work behind the scenes. Leo doesn't. Leo likes to work on the stage. He is the showman, he is the performer. Being a bystander for Leo just isn't an option. Working behind the scenes isn't an option, but the trouble is, when you are hogging all of the limelight, that means there's not much to go around for everybody else. With royalty and people who are deemed to be important socially, and strongly Leo people often are because they work their way up very quickly that social ladder, of course you get people who genuinely admire you and want to be your friend, but you also get people who just want to get close to that. They want a piece of that specialness, and they want to be noticed the way you are, and it's very selfish, and that's a double-edged sword, of course, popularity. And that can really be a problem for Leo because it's the sign most likely to believe its own hype. And the dark side of it is they can be quite vain and really easily flattered. Somebody could be quite transparent and trying to manipulate them, and they will take it as long as you are making them feel good. It'd probably be advice for somebody like this to actually show what is special about them instead of just believing their own hype and taking flattery, which won't lead to anything good. You're just letting yourself be manipulated. Leo, like most cats, likes being stroked, and of course the symbolism of this sign being a cat goes a lot further. It is very much like even a house cat in behaviour, this archetype. Anybody's ever had a pet cat will notice they like to stay high up. Physical vantage points, and that's very much like Leo in a less literal way. They like to stay high up with social prestige and also like to stay up with that feeling upbeat and confident, keeping up, always up. They're not downbeat, they don't like that. As heat always rises up, you'll see that all three fire signs like to rise above things. They don't like to keep things low and too emotional. They like to rise up and have some fun. Always you'll see that Leo is compared to being a leader, a king, a politician of some kind, somebody who's in a position of power, not because Leo necessarily ends up in that position, but just because of the archetype working so well with that idea. Of course, rulership implies superiority over at least a good number of people, maybe a little bit of a condescending attitude towards others beneath them at the weak end of this sign. Every sign has a shadow to it, and every sign has the way it shines. There's two sides to everything. Of course, a real leader, and the bright side of Leo could be that they recognise their place as a leader socially or in any other place. They recognise that and don't abuse that power, and they don't think of themselves as superior, they just recognise their own ability in that way. Where a good Leonine leader who really give something heart and passion and energy. If you really know you're great, you don't need people to tell you all the time. So of course the secure Leo knows he's good, he knows what he has, and the insecure Leo needs to be told all the time, need to have backup. Please tell me I'm great, tell me I'm something special, aren't I brilliant? Warmth, loyalty and generosity are Leo traits, the really positive ones. Unlike its predecessor Cancer, Leo doesn't hold a grudge. Leo can just let go of it and move on. As with all fire signs, there's a certain buoyancy to it like that, and a lot of enthusiasm. Leo is very strong and isn't easily defeated or crushed by anyone. Leo's generosity goes beyond just being generous with money and with goods. It also is a very generous heart, and generous with compliments as well, just generous in every sense of the word at its best. At its very best, its heart is as large as it is warm. As Leo is so confident and ready for any task at hand, any task at all, they are ready to go for it. In a lot of ways they do make a very good leader. Like of course a real leader, they may not have the skills necessary to complete every task on their own, but they can be very good at recognising what is special about other people and their abilities, and when they recognise that, they can be very good at delegating chores and jobs and anything else, any kind of work. They can be very good at recognising what other people are truly good at, and that makes a good leader. A good leader doesn't just want to be in charge of everything, but can delegate other people to be in charge of what they're good at. Because Leo has such confidence and faith and enthusiasm, they can be the perfect leader. They can keep positive and can inspire that loyalty in other people to the project or whatever it is. On closer inspection, of course, you can see that Leo is putting on a bit of a show, but that's kind of necessary to bluff your way through things. A lot of the time, especially as a leader, you're going to have to act like you know things even if you don't. And that's where that jump of imagination, that leap of faith comes in. You have to believe you can do it to be able to do it. The trick is always to make others' confidence high, to make them believe in it. And that's what Leo is so good at, inspiring confidence and belief from other people. They will be so confident and so sure of it to the outside world, it'll seem so, that other people can't help but believe it, they can't help but follow. Because Leo is so conscious of putting on a show and wanting to look special, a lot of the time they will choose a partner who isn't so competent and isn't so showy so they can shine, and definitely so that partner can't point out the weaknesses and the flaws in them. They want to be able to keep that bluff up, they want to be able to keep the show going that they are the emperor, the king, the queen, whatever it is. And of course, moving on from that theme of putting on a show and bluffing, that also makes the perfect performer. Often combined with Pisces, you'll see that that makes a wonderful actor. Anything to do with the dramatics, they have a real flair for it, to throw themselves wholeheartedly into something with a lot of passion. A lot of showmen have very prominent Leos in their chart for that reason. It's the perfect sign for the performer of any kind, because they can just throw themselves wholeheartedly into the project. Leo is also just generally very creative, so that, once again, perfect for performance. So Leo can very well command and demand respect from you. Their integrity can really make their pride in themselves appropriate, but once again there is a shadow to that, And then these people can be overly proud, and that's not a good thing. Sometimes Leo is so proud and so afraid of being laughed at, so afraid of being the fool and not seeming special and important, that they just won't end up doing anything. They can be quite lazy in that way. They just want to avoid being seen as a fool in any way. I've got to keep up this appearance, and they end up doing nothing. If this sounds too damning, it doesn't have to be. Every person, every sign has something that sounds quite damning about it, but it also has something really beautiful and really special about it. And what's special about Leo is just how special it can be to the outside world. It's not just inward, to the whole world they can shine. They can be a wonderful, confident performer, a wonderful, confident leader who's so generous and creative and loyal. It's a good thing the image of a lion is so popular, because I think Leo would really, really appreciate that, to be so well respected and so popular. Just like with Cancer here, I also have a list of keywords for Leo, and I'll read those out. I find it very helpful with learning to interpret if you have some keywords, just to work up from these. So we have majestic, proud, self-important, warm, loyal, generous, enthusiastic, dramatic, faithful, egotistical, wholehearted. The heart rules over the heart, just generally in every sense of the word. The heart can be a little arrogant, maybe a bit stubborn. All the fixed signs can be quite stubborn. And very stable, also just a fixed sign. So let me know in the comments what you think to the sign of Leo, what your experience of it is. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching.